Hello, you beautiful people. So I'm sure this is not a surprise to anyone, but there's a growing rift between older and younger populations. In the US for sure, and I'm willing to bet in other countries as well. And there's a lot of reasons for this, but I believe the actual problem itself can be solved with traveling. Now, I know that might seem a little confusing, but I'm going to go into it. First off, let's start with the problem. So basically, if we were to rewind about 100 years ago, maybe probably like 50 years ago now. I think a lot of people who are 100 years now are probably passed away, but even 100 years ago, they had problems that they had to solve that they didn't have a quick solution for. For example, let's say you ran a company or you worked for companies and you wanted to find out if the company was profitable. Nowadays, you plug it into a Google spreadsheet that someone else made and it spits out if it's profitable, how long it will maintain profitability, and the margin of error and all that stuff. But before, that had to be figured out by hand. So, through this action, people had the opportunity to practice the skill of problem solving. Nowadays, that's not so necessary. We don't have to do that as much because we have the technology to skip around those problems. And I'm not saying we shouldn't do that because honestly, it saves us a lot of time, and time is precious for the human being. For all of us out here, anytime we can save time, that's basically like saving some of our life. Like, it's important. So I'm not saying you shouldn't utilize the technology that we have access to. However, technology has robbed us of the ability to problem solve. A lot of the problems that we would have had to solve have been taken off our plate. So the older generations are now looking at us, the younger, probably me and younger, maybe a little bit older than me and younger, they're looking at us, seeing us at the age of 20 to 30, and they're saying, wow, when I was their age, I was able to do all of this stuff. What they really are saying, without saying it, is when I was at their age, this was my level of problem solving. And I can tell that their level of problem solving is much lower. Now, we know that humans like to fabricate the past, so it's possible that the standards that they're holding you to is something that never even existed in their own life. However, that's the thing. They look at us and they say, wow, mentally, they don't say this literally, wow, their level of problem solving is far below my level of problem solving when I was their age. And that's true. Because we had this technology, it's what had happened. We're not going to sit down and do math because we have a calculator. It doesn't make any sense. The calculator is better at it, it's faster at it, and utilizing our time more efficiently just makes more sense. The older generation didn't have that, so they learned problem solving. So now, where does that leave us? That leaves us with a group of people who believe that the younger generation are incompetent and unable to do things. And in a way, they're right, and in a way, they're wrong. Now, the younger generation is much better, I should say, at problem solving with technology. However, when it comes to anything outside of that, pretty generally, the younger generation falls off. So how do we solve that with traveling? Now, for most of our daily lives, when we're presented with a problem, let's say we want to cook dinner, we can very easily look up online and find a good recipe that is available to us and make it immediately. Instead of going through the trial and error of either going to the bookstore and buying a book that has the recipe and trying to make it best for our tastes, we can go online and find a recipe very easily that has all the stuff that we want. We don't have to read through a book, and we just get the recipe and we make it. And then maybe next time we make small tweaks, but for the most part, the cooking problem is solved. It's just been solved. There are people who are much better that have compiled their research and put it online. So there's no reason for us to put any of our energy towards that. So how do we get younger people to think and problem solve in a way that they find fun and exciting? Well, I believe traveling is the solution. So a lot of us nowadays, we go to work, maybe we work a 9 to 5, maybe we run our own business, but we go to work, and if we work a 9 to 5, odds are we turn our brain off when we get there. Because a lot of the problems are very easy to solve, or they're very niche problems. They don't really transfer to other things. So we turn our brain off at work. Any of us who have called a customer service representative and have tried to explain to them why something happened and them not help us at all knows that people turn their brains off at work. It just happens. It's a reality. We all do it. So then we turn our brains off at work and then we go to travel. But our traveling is, I consider vacation and traveling different things. If you're going on a vacation, you're not traveling. If you're traveling, you're not going on a vacation. Now, you can have a relaxing travel, but I would never consider going on a vacation traveling. And I'm going to give you the distinction between the two. So a vacation is when you show up to somewhere where things are already done for you and the opportunity to learn the skill of problem solving is not necessary. So cruises, resorts, pre-planned itineraried vacations. Now, there is a place in everyone's life for a vacation. We all need one, and they're important. So I'm not saying don't take vacations. And I'm not saying part of your travel can't be a vacation. However, here's where I think we can fix the country / the world with a little bit of traveling. So when you're traveling, anyone who's done any real amount of traveling knows you could prepare as much as you want. There will be problems to solve along the way that TikTok or Google will not fix. It's going to be either I can't Google where to find the bus station, so I'm having trouble getting from point A to point B. I ran into issue with my cab, and now I'm late for my flight, and my flight's going to take off. How do I get back there when they're telling me they can't let me? Things like that, like small problems that no amount of Googling is going to fix for you. You have to figure it out yourself. Putting our kids, our younger generation, in that situation will be a fun, albeit stressful experience where they will learn problem solving and also learn more about the world. It's hard to have an ignorant worldview when you know that people in Bali or Peru are homeless or can't eat sometimes. It's hard to continue to maintain that ignorant worldview. You learn about the world, but also you are forced to learn that problem solving. You're not having all those problems taken off your plate. So I think by taking our young and sending them out into the country, into different countries, maybe having them learn a language, but sending them out into other countries and allowing them to learn from that country while being there is a valuable tool that will mature people much quicker, which will allow them to take on more responsibilities. It will allow them to have an understanding and love for human beings, but also understand that there's nothing you can do about it sometimes. For example, I have money. I'm not saying I have a lot of money, but I do have money in my bank account. Now, if every person that I pass on the street is homeless, and I can't give each and every single one of them money for food and shelter. Just not happening. That's a reality that you will have to learn traveling. I don't care if you're Bill Gates or if you are broke and barely sliding in on the shoestring travel experience. It doesn't matter. There's going to be people you're going to have to walk by that you just can't help, and there's nothing you can do about it. So I think as a country, if we came together and maybe created programs where they could even be self-paying programs where we collect a group of people to go solve a problem in another country, and the problem can be very small. It could be building homes for the country or for the homeless or whatever in that area, and that money is paid back to the US to pay for the fees, so people get to travel and do things, but they also make money while doing it, like the money gets sent back. It could create an opportunity where there's no taxes necessary, the money pays for itself, and people in our younger generations can learn how to travel. Now, this doesn't have to be the case, though. We can do it ourselves. You can create the opportunity for you to learn problem solving and traveling by saving up your money and going somewhere you really want to go. And I also want to throw this last bit in before I wrap it up. Just because you go on a retreat doesn't mean there's not problem solving. There are retreats where a lot of the things are taken care of for you so that you can problem solve within your own mind. Things that had gone wrong, things that you wish you could have done better, things that you don't like about your life, stuff like that. So try to think outside the box. Just because you're sending someone to another country on a retreat or something doesn't mean, or just because you're going on a retreat yourself doesn't mean you're not learning problem solving. So yes, this video kind of sums up how I believe problem solving can fix the world and how I believe traveling can fix the world. So, there's Orko. Hi, Bubba. That was a little too close for comfort, actually. So, for those of you that have a young niece or nephew, or you find you have a lot of problems in your life that you just don't know how to solve, consider traveling. Train the skill, level up the skill of problem solving, and I guarantee your life will get a lot easier, and a lot of the things that you're missing in your life will slowly find their way there because you'll have the ability to problem solve them into your life. Regardless, if you like my view on the world or you want to hear more about my travels, because I live in Peru, you can go ahead and click this button right here. This will let us stay in contact and you can learn what it's like to live in Peru / anything else I decide to talk about. Otherwise, right up here is a video YouTube knows is perfect for you because you've been watching it forever. So click that and watch it and you won't be disappointed. You won't be disappointed. Yes, that is the word. I will see you soon.